Yo, I'm back with a temporary voiceover. So I got the flu, recovered, and now I got COVID. So peace. Okay, I'm gonna basically do a voiceover because like the last couple weeks have been rough. So basically, I had got a virus from work, and then I recovered, and then I got COVID, and that was terrible. I'm surprised I avoided it for this long, but that's a recap. So I'll get into the video. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is why no one wants blackness from black people. I think the answer is pretty straightforward, super obvious. It's racism, but I'll go more into depth. I'm going to say more words. For example, right? So look at this person right here. This is a really lovely model. Her name is Ducky. Known her for a while, love her. And what you'll see is from these publications, they really, really like the skin tones of the South Sudanese models and they'll push them and repel them. But there's like a viral picture that went around a couple years ago from another model who made fun of how Ducky looks with her natural hair or whatever. And this model was also black. So it just goes into like even other black people don't really like blackness from black people. So basically, you need to be done up to the nines, dressed up to the nines, be on like 10 for anyone to even accept you. And it's just sad and disappointing to see. Okay, so extending, it's not even just that. It's when you think about like the amount of tone policing that goes on. And even your cadence and your speech, people will be able to tell certain things or guess certain things about you, and it's really, really stupid and silly, but you see it all the time. So what will happen is if you speak in a certain way, people will assume you're like mush mouthed or ghetto and basically say all these things that'll bring you down. So if a black person wants to dress in like a Y2K fashion manner, it's deemed inappropriate because what white people say or other black people is like, oh, you're fetishizing and sexualizing. It didn't look like this. But why is that critique only levied against people with dark skin? Interesting. The other thing that's super, super annoying is every couple months this debate gets rewashed up. I don't have Twitter. I haven't had Twitter in years. I had it for like a couple months, saw how toxic it was and deleted it. But what you'll see is like they'll put up examples of like little white girls with their hair straight or in like a slick bun. And they'll do the same thing with black girls. And they'll say, why is one considered fast and one considered cute and quirky? And we already know the answer. Once again, it's racism. So the thing is, sadly, there's a lot of adultification that goes on with little black girls. So they'll say, oh, your skin is dark, so you have to be more mature. And if you look at it too, like there was a couple years ago where they did like a report on student disciplinary meetings and just reports and referrals and all these other things. And you would see like the amount for white students versus black students, males versus females, anything in between. And it will always be like the darker you were, you would get more write-ups. So it's just very, very straightforward to this thing, right? You can have dark skin, but in a certain range. So it can be like a light tan. That's acceptable. Colorism, right? Or it can be super, super dark and then you'll be fetishized for just your skin color. This type of thing happens all the time. So you'll notice that as a kid, like as someone who was socialized and raised like to be a girl, don't really identify as that. We already know these things. People would often say like, oh, you're being fast. Oh, sorry. I'll set up the scenario. It's hot outside. It's 90 degrees. You want to go to the water park. No. You need to wear shorts. But the shorts that you can buy are going to be way shorter than boys' shorts. So you got on these little small shorts. And then everyone's going to keep saying, oh, you're fast. Why are you wearing these tiny little shorts? But it's like, it's not my fault that whoever designed these clothes decided that they should be super, super small and super duper skinny. So then you're minding your business. You can't wear a two-piece. You can't wear a one-piece. You need to wear a shirt over this. Oh no, you're wearing a shirt over this? Well, it's going to get wet, so it needs to be a dark shirt so it doesn't show your body. And then you young and you're getting all these ideas in your head that's like, oh, me showing my body is disgusting. No matter what I do, it's going to be wrong. It's going to be inappropriate. This type of stuff, you internalize it. So then what you see is like these teenagers, which is really, really sad, who will say, oh, I'm going to fight the patriarchy. I'm going to take back like my bodily autonomy. But the sad thing is when you're that young, you don't really have that. So then they'll wear like crop tops and whatever. And then obviously there's weirdos in the world who are going to be into that and sexualize it and promote that. And it's just like a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. Because if a little white child or a child who's not black wears the same outfit, it's still like deemed inappropriate, but no one would go up to the girl and be like, oh, your outfit is super inappropriate. You can't wear that. It's just not a thing. People feel very comfortable policing black bodies, especially black feminine bodies. Like no matter what you do or how you want to dress, they'll keep pointing out certain things that they don't like in these critiques. It's just exhausting. So back to the main point. When you are black, there are unfair standards that just get pushed onto you. And the sad thing is like it's extremely normalized. Like when I was in college, I think I've told this story before. If you're black, you cannot just go at 2 a.m. in your pajamas. No, you need to put something on presentable. And it was so exhausting to me because I'm like, these little white girls can go to the canteen with a messy bun and it's fine. But then it's like, you know, we are the examples. If we do this, it's bad. But if they do it, it's cool. It's normal. So it was just like always exhausting, these double standards that got like inflicted on you. Like, oh my gosh, I want to go to class. It's 9 a.m. I just want to roll out of bed and go to class. No. You got to make sure you do your hair. Make sure your edges are laid. Make sure you got your face beat. And it was just like, why is this like an extra labor and emotional effort that's being and responsibility that's just being put onto me? It just felt super duper unfair. So basically, like starting from a really, really young age up until you're an adult, you have all these unfair responsibilities that are just placed on you. So you will always have to basically distance yourself from your blackness and only exude excellence. And it's extremely emotionally taxing and exhausting, which is why you see so many people who like divest. And I'm not for or against that, but they'll basically say, oh, like I'm black, but I'm not like black, which is just really sad because it's like, what's wrong with being black? Like, why can't you be black and like stand 10 toes in it? Like people, I've had conversations with other black people who have proudly stated like, oh, like I'm black, but I identify more with like my Americanness than my blackness. And at one point I had those same beliefs, but that was when I was a kid, you know, family super conservative, you take on those beliefs. So it was just like really, really sad, like to hear that as an adult, coming from an adult who's like had fully realized life experiences. It's like, oh my gosh, everyone is distancing themselves from blackness. Like no one likes the blackness or whatever. And what you'll see from people who are like ultra conservative and just hate black people, they'll always say like, oh, it's the culture that's the problem, not the people. But how can you separate blackness from black people? It's just not possible. And even if you do adhere, right? You adhere to all these conditionals, then you get called other slurs. Or people will keep reminding you about you being black, which is like, I know that, I'm aware. Or the other thing, if they're not doing that, they'll just basically say, oh, but I'm more black than you because basically you're like a dyed black person. So yeah, I think I covered my points. If I miss anything else, I'll just add it in as like a voiceover or a typo. But I just wanted to, you know, quickly share my thoughts because it's a video that I've been rolling on for a while, but I was so sick. So now I'm better and I'll be back to putting out more videos. So did I do my intro? Okay, whatever. Bye.